This is the backup camera I decided to get. It's a Boyo, and it is basically a license plate, and the camera, you can see, is built into the top. Very sturdy unit. This wire obviously will go out and go to the front of your car where your camera is located. And here's a little look at the camera. I haven't mounted it yet, whoopsie, and you can see that's what I see through the camera, and you can see it's kind of a low-res image due to the fact that this is it's a standard definition. All these backup cameras are standard definition. So why would you need a backup camera, first of all? I don't know, backup cameras are cool. It's fun to have gadgets. Let me just get in this particular vehicle. This particular vehicle is a Audi A8. It's an older model, and it has pretty bad visibility. If I can just grab this camera, if you can look out the back, this headrest, there is these very kind of wide sloping pillars at the rear. There's a sunshade on the back. It's really hard to see out the back of this vehicle, and it is a very long vehicle as well. It's about 201 inches long, which is longer than a Land Cruiser. And you're sitting, I guess you sit relatively low-ish down. So a backup camera for a vehicle like this would be, I think, is quite a good idea. An example of my situation with my vehicle. This is what I see out the back. I see quite a bit of stuff. And if I look in my rear view mirror, I don't know if you can see, I can't see a whole lot at all. Those headrests are in the way. The B-pillars, I believe, are in the way. So this is actually pretty cool. There's a little box in the middle of the road. I can see a lot of stuff now. I just figured, having dog in the back, now a baby in the back, it'd be nice to have a little bit of extra view when you're reversing and you've got all these distractions and screams and shouts and howls and woofs and fur and whatever kids and babies do. So let's go over some of the technical aspects of a backup camera. It's pretty much, your backup camera is going to be 2 units, and I'm talking about the backup camera you're going to buy on Amazon. You're going to have basically, this is a little mini television, an LCD mini TV, and it is going to be, you're going to have composite inputs. Not to get too technical here, but a composite input is the old input you had on your VCR back in the day. Now everything is, HDMI, which is a totally different thing. I don't believe there are any HDMI backup cameras. I don't believe there are any HD, high definition backup cameras, which is kind of dumb. So we're stuck in the 80s. So you have, basically, this is an RCA, I believe, jack, and carrying, this is a nice thin cable, coming all the way through from the back of the camera, which is in the back of mounted in the back of the car. And this little particular monitor, Boyo, it's a more expensive monitor. My color balance would work here, which is not. It has 2 channels, which, I mean, maybe you have another channel. Not that you want to watch anything for long periods of time on this particular monitor. It's kind of crappy compared to our cell phones we have nowadays. It's not a bad monitor. It was about $99, so it's a lot, quite a bit more than some of the ultra cheapy ones. But it's not, like a $200-300 Lilliput one, which are high definition, I believe. So that's the monitor part. You've seen the camera. And this just works off 12 volts. There should be a way somehow to make it so when you put the car in reverse, this monitor comes on. Oh, there you go. There's a white balance. I haven't figured that out, and I think there's a cable or something missing or something like that. So this thing now is going to be on whenever I turn my car on. At night, I'm sure it's going to be a distraction. But ideally, you want it to go on when you put the car in reverse, and then go off when you put it in anything else. So I'm doing a broom test here, which is placing a broom on the ground right behind the car and seeing if I can actually, how close I can get to the car until the broom disappears. This is how close I can get, which is actually pretty good. If you look at the car, it's pretty close to the broom. Nothing is probably going to be, unless the item is flat like a broom. So the higher up the item is going to be, the actual closer I could get in. And this gets back to the viewing angle of the camera. If it has 100 degrees, 120 degrees, this broom literally would probably have to be over here for you to see it, which in my mind is pretty useless. I mean, the idea of a backup camera is to see shit in the camera. Little furry animals, snotty-nosed kids, old ladies, whatever. Maybe walls if you're reversing, or maybe big posts. And if you can't see the post because the camera doesn't have a wide enough angle, I would just not buy it. So there's, and I'll show you now the view we get. And as you can, as you can see, there it is. You'll see the broom is, because the angle is, because the camera is so wide, you'll see the broom is kind of distorted. But you can indeed see the broom, and if that was something, you'd probably stop. Unless you had some kind of desire to run something over. If you had a camera that didn't have as wide a viewing angle, I believe you wouldn't see that broom. Maybe you'd only see over here halfway, I don't know. But that is something to bear in mind when you're buying this, buying a camera, backup camera. And I would probably say that, thinking about it now, I guess I haven't really thought about this before, thinking about it now, the 178 degree is really a really killer cool feature on this particular camera. Not sure what other cameras do that. I've seen 120 and stuff like that. So you want as wide an angle as you can get. I mean, if you get like a fisheye, which would look really crazy and distorted, that would be cool. One thing I did notice with this is things are a lot closer than they appear. I think because due to the ultra-convex nature of the lens, the wide angle of the lens, I believe that's a thing, a result of that. I'm going to go into a parking lot and do some parking and see how cool it is. So, but you can see, it looks pretty good. You can see behind, you can see people coming along. In fact, I can't really see. People look way, way, way far off, but they're actually pretty close to me. Okay. Into this spot. Okay, and I guess there's no lines on here, so it's somewhat harder than it would be normally, but there it goes. Let me straighten up. Okay. That's kind of really funny. Was it easier for me to park? I don't know. I don't think so. Someone was talking about lines, having lines to see how wide your car is. Not sure. Let's try another parking exercise. Just into this parking spot with a big post. How close am I to that post? Seems like I'm pretty close, but let's go and have a look. So I'm a good distance from that post. I could actually reverse back even more now if I wanted to. You know, if you want to keep your car, sometimes it's nice to. I mean, if I look back there, I mean, it literally looks like I mean, there's no way I would, there's no way me driving would be able to get that close to that post. When you have a long car, it's nice to tuck your car in, and it's also nice to tool around with gadgets, isn't it? So, let's go and see how close I am to that post. It looks like I'm pretty damn close. So that's pretty damn close, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I'd want to do it that close, but there you have it. So, I don't know. I guess it takes getting used to, and it is actually nice when you're doing stuff, when you're tooling around. It's nice to see what's behind you, you know.